The last time Pacers were in the finals in 2000, I was in the stands. I was a player for the Fever, and now they get an opportunity to again play for a championship in a historic Game 7. It's huge. I'm so incredibly proud of the organization, management for building the franchise the right way. Thankful to the Simon family for their continued support, belief in both franchises. It's just it's a big day. Indiana, as everyone knows, loves basketball. We're born and bred to shoot it through that round hoop, right? And so for everybody that gets to watch, we get to be the appetizer and then the big show later tonight.
Steph, during availability, a couple of your players, very cordial, but they want to sort of preface before the interview. They had a statement to be about CBA negotiations. I don't know if you're familiar. That was discussed in a team meeting. And if you are, just your thoughts on the stance and the platform that they're using to sort of get their voice out there before negotiations.
Yeah, no, I mean, that wasn't anything that we discussed in a team meeting. I'm sure the players and the players union discussed it at all. I've been a part of this league for 25 years and was a part of the first CBA negotiation where really all we wanted, and Rebecca probably remembers this, was insurance all year round, right? To then having the ability to have your own hotel room, right? And then now we're in charter flights, and it's just the growth of the league. And I think when you look back at other professional leagues, it's about this time frame in the trajectory where things begin to change, and things are changing rapidly for our league. And having been a part of a lot of those negotiations as a player and been on the other side as a coach, the players deserve opportunities to grow with this league, and I'm proud of them for continuing to voice their opinions, and I'm also proud of our organizations and our leadership at the league for understanding how we grow it, right? And there's a process to growing it. So just much like being a player and being a coach, being a young person and being an older person, you learn to value the different pieces that go into the puzzle, and making sure that we're setting up the league for long-term success is the most important thing.
What specific adjustments are you looking for from Caitlin and the guards today? And what's the game plan defensively to make sure that Asia Wilson doesn't take over?
Well, I think it's hard to make sure Asia doesn't take over, right? You just got to make things as difficult as possible. You got to try to make her shots as difficult as possible, not give her easy ones. Try to keep her off the foul line, try to keep her off the glass. So we just got to try to make life difficult for her. But she's a great player, so she's going to find a way to get hers. So we also have to make sure that we minimize the easy shots from everybody else. And we've got to be disruptive on the defensive end of the floor. We've got to be able to take them out of what they want to do and stay disciplined on the defensive end. What was the other question?
I wanted to know what specific adjustments are you looking for from Caitlin, in particular, and the guards in the game?
Adjustments from what?
The last game.
Yeah. Okay. Taking care of the ball. I think first and foremost, taking care of the ball. We've got to do a better job of making sure that we get quality shot opportunities. And then we be able to knock down open shots. I think the runs the Golden State were able to make were a direct reflection of live ball turnovers and poor shot selection. And we've also got to be able to recognize moments where we've gone 3 or 4 possessions without getting a score, and we've got to be a little bit more disciplined and slow down and run offense.
Steph, if I can ask you about this, not specifics of this past week, but we've all noticed how physical this game has become this season, and you've been very outspoken about it. I went back and looked at your Connecticut team from last year. This was known as one of the most physical ones.
Yeah.
The top 8 games in terms of fouls, personal fouls called on your Connecticut team, 2 of those 8 were against this Fever team.
Yeah.
And you brought a physical nature with Alyssa and Dewan and so on and so forth. What's changed in terms of either where you're thinking or how you're seeing it, because you coach a physical style, and now this team's being defended very physically?
Nothing's changed. You as a coach and as a player, you're going to play as physical as you're allowed to play. That's the reality of competition, right? Like you're positioning yourself to win. As a coach of whichever team, I am always going to fight for my players, right? Like I am always going to have my players back. And so nothing has changed from that standpoint. It has continued to be a challenge from an official standpoint. And again, I think you can go all the way back to the Bill Lambier days, right? It's like teams are going to be as physical as they're allowed to be, and we want to be more physical on the defensive end of the floor, but physical without fouling, right? Disciplined in from that standpoint as well. So I would say nothing's changed. It's just continuing to point out what's happening. Thank you.
Thanks, Steph.
Yeah,